All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Tuesday morning Inner Circle Live session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody is doing well today. Hope everybody had a great holiday break. And I hope you're having a great morning. So, let's dive in. So as always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. Grab a pen and paper for notes, and let's participate and engage. All right. So we are going to we'll take a look at some fundamentals. Not a ton happening because there is a lot. Most folks are out on holiday break, but we'll take a look at a couple things that have changed, and then we'll dive into the charts and go step by step. Okay. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right. The main thing here, China eases COVID-19 curves. All right. That is the big piece. Okay. We come here. Shanghai composite rose 0.98% to close at 3,096, while the Shenzhen composite gained 1.16% to 11,107 on Tuesday, rising for the second straight session after China announced that it will end quarantine requirements for inbound travelers starting January the 8th, sparking hopes for a faster economic recovery. Investors also digested data showing industrial profits in China fell 3.6% year on year in January to November period, reflecting economic disruptions brought by COVID restrictions. Okay, so that is going to lead to, right, kind of bounces and changes everywhere else, right? European stock market trade higher on Tuesday, during the global stock rally as investors welcome news that China will stop requiring inbound travelers to quarantine. All right. And that's just ahead of the Chinese New Year holiday. Okay. So folks are looking at another step in the country's reopening efforts, right? Boosting the market sentiment. And we know China being the largest consumer of oil, right? Positive impacts from crude, right? WTI crude futures rose above $80 a barrel in holiday thin trading on Tuesday. It's trying to reverse COVID restrictions. Okay. So that's the big thing that's happened so far. That's come into our purview. All right. So impacts around the market, folks are looking at it as a positive sign, and we'll see some boosts. Great work, Joy. We'll see some boosts around the market and some positive sentiment coming from that. Also understand that liquidity is low. Okay. Liquidity is low. So you'll see some changes happen there. All right. Give me 1 second. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you hanging, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. Excited. It's the holiday season, right? So
Yeah,
getting a good time with family. So glad to be here though for this session. I was itching to jump back on the fundamentals and the charts to see exactly what's going on. It's this COVID easing from China is pretty big, huh?
it is. It definitely is getting felt around, really around the market, man.
Yeah, it kind of plays into that what we were reading. You and I, we were talking over the weekend about a lot of predictions about the demand for oil, and that oil price starting to surge again eventually in 2023. So
Yeah,
I think this has a lot to do with it.
yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree, man. Anything else you've seen around around your searches from a fundamental
No,
perspective?
no, I just pretty much been just I did peek in on the dollar. I'm interested to see what happens with the dollar uh
Yeah,
as we move forward, you know, into 2023, being that I guess the market kind of knows what they expect from the Fed right now. In regards to rate hikes coming out of that last meeting right before the break. So I'm be
right.
interested to see how to if it bottoms out and finds that support and continues to on an upward trend, or if it's actually peaked and it's going to continue to make lower lows. So that'll be interesting, man. But I'm excited for the new year. A lot of new things for the group, So
Yeah,
yeah,
man. Yes, sir. Definitely excited for the new year, man. Definitely excited. So appreciate you, bro.
indeed.
All right. So we are going to let's hop over to the charts. All right. We'll take a look at the dollar. Um, definitely interested to see what it's going to do. And then we'll take a look at some other pairs. So dollar index, right? Zoom out, get the full picture here. Right. This is on a 4-hour time frame. So we've been pressing to the downside. We came into this key level of support. Here. And hold on one second, everybody. My apologies. All right, came into this key level of support, and we got this reversal, and now we're getting this pull back here, right? Trying to get a little boost right now as we open the day. But we got a nice deep retracement off of the sub fib, right? We're pushing out of this 118, 127 zone that we had our eyes on. All right. Beautiful push down off of a shallow retracement, right? And now we're trying to make those higher lows and higher highs and make our way back up. We got to break back through these daily levels though. So that's going to be key. Okay. So this is a sub fib that I just ran off the bottom to track the waves to the upside. And I'm curious to see if we do continue to press up, right? Or if we get a deeper retracement to come back and retest that weekly support level at 12,813. Okay. It'll be interesting to see how it goes over the next week, right? As we move through this low liquidity holiday season. Okay. So this is where we are right now from a 4-hour time frame perspective. If we come back to the daily, right, just to look at it from a broader view, two ways we can look at it, right? If we look at it with the fibs coming to the downside, we're sitting in this 118, 127 zone off of the shallow retracement, all right? Now, if we zoom out and run our fibs off the low, right, off of this capital fib here, off of the primary move to the upside, right? The trend is moving up. We're sitting in a 618 retracement zone, right? So we got some confluence here of a potential reversal zone. It's all just a matter of when, right? All just a matter of when. So that's where we sit, right? So we're in a key area. We want to see we will likely get some more consolidation, right? Could push to the top and then come back down to the bottom. But we're in a key area that we like and we want to keep our eyes on to see if we get this move back to the upside, okay? Or when we get this move back to the upside, seeing that, like Benny said, right, investors know what the Fed is, the way the Fed is leaning, what their stance is, all right? So that's the dollar, right? Looking for break above these daily levels and then move higher. Okay. Questions here on the dollar index? No. All right. Cool deal. So we'll keep our eyes on those dollar pairs. We'll take a look at them this morning also as we move through. All right. I want to look at this CAD Swiss. So this CAD Swiss, right? We looked at this last week, right? And we came down into this key zone. And we said, if this level holds, we want to look for potential retracement to come, right? Potential retracement to come. And that level held. That level held. We get down to the daily time frame. Our new fib hasn't popped in just yet. However, we got a swing low to form here, right? 2 candles to the right, 2 candles to the left. So our new fib on the daily time frame would look like this. Okay. Trying to make our way to the upside here. Okay. After hitting that daily D extension. All right. So that level held, we got a swing push to the upside. Now we drop down to the 4, right? And we said we're looking for a trend line breakout of this, right? Fresh AB boundary on the 4-hour time frame as well, right? And we're looking for a trend line break, which we got, and we started pushing higher. So now we're in this consolidated period right now. Okay, pressing sideways, trying to pull back a little bit, little double top action here in this consolidation, right? But we got the trend line break that we're looking for. Okay, we got the trend line break that we're looking for, which is the beautiful thing. Now the question is, do we get a pullback to retest this weekly support level? Do we get a pullback to test this weekly support level before we continue getting long? All right, we know what's happening with oil. Oil's getting a boost, right? Coming out of the China situation. Okay, so that's what we could be looking for here is continue move to the upside, continue strengthening the Canadian dollar. Okay. Now, as we get down to the 1, we see this a little more closely here, right? And this is what we said we're looking for back on around the 20th, right? On Tuesday, is this action here. Okay. So we zoom out, drop our fibs in, and we're sitting right in that 118, 127 zone on the 1, right? And trying to push out, right? Trying to get this push to the upside. So what I'm looking for here, right? We said, do we get a pullback and retest of this weekly support level? So I'm going to start running these fibs off the low here, right? And these are those smaller waves to the upside now that we can track as we work our way back to this 1 hour 382, which is here at 71,250. Okay. But these smaller waves, right? Intraday trade opportunities, right? Adding to the trade opportunities, right? Is here. Okay. So I'll move this out of the way, moving as we expected. Okay. So now we got consolidation here. Do we get this pullback back down, right? Shallow retracement, consolidation in this 118 and 127 zone off this fib. So do we get price to come back and retest that level, right? You see after the breakout to the upside, we haven't gotten a retest of the level yet. So looking for a potential retest here, right? So this is a trade opportunity, right? If anybody wants to trade, right, intraday opportunity, well, wouldn't necessarily be an intraday opportunity because of the low liquidity, but shorter term move. Okay. Shorter term move. Once you get a break of your trend line, this is all consolidation, just a sideways push, right? You could have run it through there. That would have been your trend line break. If you push back to the top of the zone here, right, in this consolidation, then only time you'll address that trend line, right? So if price pushes back to the top of this range, okay, that's when you'll adjust this trend line here, right? But as of right now, that's a trend line break, right? Nice impulsive move down. Nice impulsive move down, right? Now we'll see if we get price to stay below that trend line and continue working its way down. Okay, so we're looking for a pullback to retest this weekly level, and then we're looking for opportunities to get long again. Okay. Questions here on this CAD Swiss? No? All right. Cool deal. Cool deal. All right. So that's the CAD Swiss. Look at this one. Benny and I were talking about this pound yen over the weekend and or in the end of the week last week, right? And so looking at this, okay, on the daily time frame, we had this fresh AB boundary and moving in this consolidation here, retested the top, triple top scenario right here, and we got that pressed down, and then we broke this weekly level that we've been watching, right? We broke this weekly level that we've been watching, strong bearish action there, right? We came into a level of daily support right here, right? 159,692, just below it, and we started to get some consolidation action happen, okay? So as you move through the time frames, right, we get down to the 4, right? You run your fibs off of the high coming out of that consolidation, right? And you got a fresh AB boundary as price started to consolidate here just before the holiday, right? Started to press sideways. So key opportunity for a reversal here, right? Key opportunity for a reversal. So as you get down to your 1 and you run your fibs off the high, right? This is what you had. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone. We tried to push out, came back, gave a double bottom, and now we're making our way up. Now we're making our way to the upside, right? Getting a nice retracement happening here, coming back to retest some of these lows, right? But looking for price to continue to move to the upside at the end of the day, okay? So if you run a sub fib off the low here, right, you can track the move. Fresh AB boundary, you're getting a pullback now, right? So if you get a pullback to retest this daily support level or in this back into our sweet spot, right, 618 deeper, that's a key opportunity for us to get long, right, out of this move to the upside, at least to that 382 off the 1 hour. Okay. Key scenario here. Okay. Starting to make those lower highs and lower lows, right? Shifting the trend back to the upside. So we want to look for that opportunity. Okay. So be patient here and allow price to pull back and come back down into the sweet spot. And then that's opportunity to get long. Okay. Already up 149 pips, right? So a good opportunity there for that move to the upside. Okay. Back to that zone. You're looking at 293 pips to the upside. Cool. Questions here on the pound yen?
Sir, that was great price action.
It was, man. It definitely was. This was a good call, man. Good eye catching it. All right.
Appreciate
But
it.
you'll see. Hey, heck yeah, man. Appreciate you. And so we talk about this all the time, right? We got some newer folks on the call. When you get these strong, impulsive moves to the downside, right? It sets you up for these retracements because the market likes to take back at least 50% of these moves, right? So it sets you up for these opportunities all the time, right? So that was a strong move to the downside. Now we're just looking for a retracement. And then once we get back to these higher levels, we'll look for opportunity to get back short. All right. A beautiful price action so far, right? Just what we like to see here. Okay. Take a look at the Euro USD. We looked at the dollar, right? Different scenarios there. So Euro USD from a weekly time frame perspective, right? We're just hovering in the zone, right? This weekly level, we're trying to break back above, couldn't close above it back on the 11th, right? That week. And now we're trying to make our way higher. Okay, trying to make our way higher. We come down here to the daily. You see on the daily time frame, right? We're sitting, we got a 786 retracement off this push up. Got a little bit of a pullback, and now we're trying to push higher again. Okay. So the next zone that I'm keeping my eye on, if we do get that pullback in the dollar, right, is this this zone here at 107. Right. Give us an 8.6 retracement. We got previous resistance here. Okay. Potentially could get another push there. All right. So as we continue to drop down, right, we get a little bit of confluence here on the 4-hour time frame. Right. Fib is running off the low. Okay. And we have a shallow retracement and prices trying to push higher. So if we do push to this 107 level, right, push right into that 118, 127 zone on the 4. Okay. If that level holds, right, beautiful key 80-20 scenario, shallow retracement on 118 and 127. All right. So we're looking for this. Okay. So key area there on the 4 could take a while to develop. So be patient with it. Okay. But that's the key opportunity there. 80-20 scenario. We drop down to the 1 and we zoom out. That same level is in line with the D extension on the 1 hour. Okay. So we got a deep retracement level on the daily. We got an 80-20 scenario on the 4. And if we get to this level, we got a D extension on the 1, right? So signals for potential reversal area. Okay, so we'll watch this to see if we get this push. Okay, but there we sit, right? We got the 382 retracement here, tested that daily support, and now we're moving to the upside. Okay, so here on your 1, we're in your trend lines. And be patient. It'll be interesting to see, right, as we move through the holiday season, right? It's low liquidity. So we'll see if we get continued retracements on the dollar, right? Until the volume really comes back in and people come off a holiday, right? But there's your trend line to the upside, right? And we'll just wait to see what happens, right? But it'll be interesting to see as we move through this week, right, into the weekend and beginning of the new year and all of those things, if we're sitting at this key level during that time, right? If it slowly makes its way to the upside, gets here, end of the week, beginning of next week, and then we'll see if we get investors to come in with the understanding of what the Fed's plans are, right? We'll see if we get this turnover and move back down. Okay. So that's the dollar, right? Slowly pushing to the upside here. Okay. I mean, euro dollar. Questions here? No. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the pound dollar. All right, so this one is some interesting things happening that I'm watching, right? So here on a weekly time frame, we came into this weekly resistance level at 122, right? We tried to push higher, break above, didn't quite happen, broke down, and we're pulling back now. Now, we've got an interesting scenario. This is a key level of support here, right? That was broken down and then back up, right? So starting the makings of a potential crown pattern. Okay. Potential of a crown pattern. I'll redraw it in a second. I'll pull this out. But we zoom out here on the daily time frame. This is our fib coming down, right? We're sitting at a 50% retracement level. Okay. We got these daily and weekly zones here. So it'll be interesting to see if we get another push to the upside here. Okay. Coming back down, retesting this daily level. We broke back below it. We're staying below now. We got another daily level here, right? Which is just above that key level here that we broke through. Okay. We got a nice deep retracement, but I would love for price to push higher into that 618 zone. Okay. So what I'm looking for potentially is for price to turn over and press back to the upside, at least in the short term. Right. So this is that crown pattern that I had drawn here. Like this, right? Took out the previous high, right? So we come back, right? Retest that support level, right? Foresee the right tip, potential push higher, right? If the crown pattern plays out, chance that it doesn't, right? But that's one way to look at this opportunity here is potential move to the upside, okay? Even if we shrunk this here, right? Still sitting in that zone. Okay, so that's one way to look at it there. That's the daily time frame look, potential crown pattern to the upside. Okay, we come down to the 4. We zoom out. Now on the 4-hour, you see we got fibs running off the low. Okay, and we're in this 118, 127 zone. Shallow retracement, 118, 127, and we started to break down. Right. So this is the other way to the other view of this, right? If that crown pattern doesn't play out, we could see price continue to make its way lower, right? Potentially coming back and retesting this weekly level, right? But continue to make its way lower, get deeper into the zone here. Okay. So this is the other way to look at that. So we could be moving to the downside, right? We'll have to wait and see what the market tells us, but we did get our trend line breaks here. Right? Our inner and outer trend line breaks, bang, right? Broke down, continued to break down, came back in a retest. Okay, so, excuse me. So this is one for us to keep our eyes on, right? To see if we do get price to move higher or if we continue to break down and break this daily level at 118. Right? If we break this daily level at 118, right, was resistance here. We consolidated at that zone there, served as support there. If we're able to break back below this level and retest and hold it, that's a key signal that we're going to continue pressing lower, right? So if you're in this to the downside, beautiful, right? Just monitor your trade, right? And manage it as price continues to move to the downside. Now, if we break back above and then hold this level on the opposite side, right, we could be in for another push up. Okay, so things to look at and think about as you're managing your trade to the downside here. Okay, but beautiful movement so far, right? Beautiful movement so far. So as we get down to the 1, zoom out, right? Fibs running to the upside. You see where you are coming to a 618 retracement level. Okay, if you run your sub fib down, right, you see you got to pull back to retest that daily level, right? And price is trying to turn over and press down. Sorry, zoom in there. Right, trying to turn over and press down. So we'll watch this to see what happens at this level here at 119. Okay, I think that's going to be key for us if we continue to press to the downside. Okay, questions on the pound dollar?
Nope.
Cool deal. Still haven't been able to get my chart straight. There we go. Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar from a weekly time frame perspective, all right? You had this support zone. Okay. Price came back to it. Support, all right? Price came back, retested that level. Strong press to the downside. Okay, strong press to the downside. Now we're getting a bit of a retracement. All right, now we're getting a bit of a retracement. So we drop down to the daily, and this is what that looks like. We had a fresh AB boundary coming off the high, pushed into that 618 retracement zone, right? And then we got the breakdown. Now we're getting a pullback off of the strong impulsive candle, right? Strong impulsive move to the downside. Price is starting to pull back. Okay, price is starting to pull back. So we'll see if we're able to get back up into this zone here on this daily time frame, right? This is what we were looking for, right? And price is starting to do just that, starting to pull back, right? So I'd love for it to get up here back into the zone, right? Area where price broke out, give us a nice opportunity to get short, right? So we come back to the 4-hour time frame. We've already got a 382, right? We hovered in the zone for a while, pushed down. Now we're here, right? And we're just kind of pressing sideways. So I'd love to see price come just a little bit higher, like this. But we'll see. We'll see, right? Key zone for us to watch, right? 66, 673 and 66, 394, right? If we don't get this push back to the high side to retest that daily level again at 68, right? If price continues to push down, do we break these levels here? If we break below this and retest and hold, right? That could be the signal. Price held here, it held here, it held here. So if we break back below and retest it here, right, that could be identifier that price is going to continue that move to the downside. Okay, so in the short term, we can look at this as a range opportunity, right? Potentially getting back to the top of the range is what I'd like for price. I'd like to see price do, right? It also puts us in a scenario where we have, right? It's tighter, but we got this crown pattern action here. If we come back, test the top of that range. All right. Crown pattern action like that. Okay. So that's another scenario, potential opportunity there. Okay. So we'll watch that to see if that forms as well. But that will call for price pushing back to the upside. Okay. So that's what I'm watching here. More of a range scenario. Would love price to get to the top of the range and give us an opportunity to get short, right? If we get that retracement in the dollar that I mentioned, right, through the rest of the week, that could give us that scenario. Okay, so we'll watch it closely to see what happens there. As we drop down to the 1, right? Again, we talk about that strong impulsive move, right? Strong move to the downside, very little retracement. Okay. These out of the way. Trend line coming down, getting as close to the deepest point as possible. We had a shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone, and we got the takeoff. All right. We came back, retested those levels, and we pushed up again. Okay. Price didn't get back into our sweet spot, right? For the with the trend move. So again, would love to see price continue making its way higher here. Right, and pushing into that 618, 786, 86 zone. Come back to retest that level, nice deep retracement, and we can place our stop outside the A. All right, place our stop outside the A. If we get back and retest that level, beautiful risk to reward scenario there. if we get that opportunity. All right. That's your risk. That'll be your reward. Right. Beautiful scenario if we're able to get back to the top of the range. Okay. 36 pips for 211. Right. Beautiful scenario there. So be patient here and wait to see if we get that push higher. Okay. So Aussie dollar questions.
No, sir.
All right. But you guys see, right? These scenarios
questions.
happen all the no questions. Appreciate it. But you see, right? They happen all the time. Shallow retracement. Still didn't get to that 382 level. Breakdown. Pull back. All right. They happen all the time. It's just about being patient and waiting for it to set up for us, right? It happens all the time. So that's the Aussie dollar. Hop over, we'll take a look at dollar yen.
All your yen crosses are recovering pretty good.
They are. They are.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we see here daily time frame, right? This is the move to the downside. Shallow retracement, 118 and 127 zone. Broke down even further. Strong bearish action, right? Got to this weekly support level, and we started to retrace, right? Started to get that pullback coming, okay? Zone that we're watching. So we drop down to the 4, right? Clean this up a bit. Right, it's doing what we wanted it to do out of that level. But boom, right? We got a 50% retracement here, right? Broke down below this daily support level and that B boundary. And then we started to pull back. Strong impulsive moves. We're taking back some of that action, right? Taking back some of that action. Okay. So now we drop down to the 1. And this is what that looked like on a 1-hour time frame. Strong impulsive move, push you right into a fresh AB boundary. D extension hit here, fresh AB boundary, recovery. You get that bounce, right? So now we want to watch this level, this daily level. Let's see if we stay below, all right? Then see if we get another push down. If the dollar, right, does that retracement thing, right, and pulls back even further, right, we'll see if this dollar yen has another push to the downside. Okay. Now, if we hover here, don't quite get to that 382 level, right, then we can look to see if we push into this 118 and 127 zone, and then look for our reversal there. Maybe asking a bit too much, and that's okay, right? But we'll watch these levels if price turns over and presses down, right? This daily level here, and then this weekly level here at 134.42. Okay. But been a beautiful move so far out of that zone, right? We drop down to the 15. Run the fibs off the high. And this was the move here, right? This was the setup. Shallow retracement, 118, 127 zone. Push to the upside, right? Beautiful scenario. So now we want to sit and wait here to see what happens. Could get a double bottom scenario if price hold at this weekly level, right? But this was a beautiful move out of the zone. 213 pips to the upside. Okay. So we're going to wait here and see what happens. Okay. Dollar CAD. Tons of bouncing happening here. If I can connect. Let me refresh 1 second. There we go. All right, so dollar CAD. All right. Beautiful push down, 50% retracement in line with his weekly support level. Boom, we got a reversal, right? Now we've been playing in this range for a while. Top of the range, bottom of the range, back to the top, not able to break out to the upside, coming back down to the bottom. Okay, so this daily level, we're going to want to watch to see how things transpire, right? To see if we break below and press down to this next daily level at 133. Right. If this level holds, we could continue to bounce in this range through this holiday season. Okay. Could continue to see that. Right. So this level is going to be key for us to watch. All right. Whoops. Down on the 4. Down on the 4. Bring our fibs off the low. That's taken out. Taken out as well. Taken out as well, right? So on the 4 hour, all those got taken out to the other side. So we'll flip and we'll come from top down. And this is where we're sitting at on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, we'll look at this from 2 different perspectives here, right? But fibs coming off the high. I missed the level. There we go. Fibs coming off the high, right? You got an 8-6 retracement, and we're just consolidating here. Okay, so this is one way to look at this. Deep retracement zone, consolidating here, right? Could look to see if price, again, right, this 135, 153 level, that level is going to be key. If we break back below that, it could be in for a push down to 133, 845, right? So going to be key for us to watch this zone. If we stay above, we're looking at this range action to play out a little bit further. Okay. We break below, we'll look for a retest and continue to press down. Okay. So this level is going to be key, right? If we break that, look for a break and retest opportunity, get short back to 133.45. Okay. Play this from zone to zone as we move through the low liquidity portion of the month. All right. But if this level continues to hold as it did here, right, then we'll look for that range play back to the top, and then we'll see what happens once we get to 137. Okay, so in the short term, I'm looking at this sheerly as a range play because there's low liquidity in the market, right? Until we get something different. Whoops. Come back to the 4. Now, if we run our fibs off the low, this is the other way to look at this, right? Kind of similar scenario, but we got a 618 retracement, right? Running the fibs off the low, matching the extension is there. Which means we'd have to break out of the top of this range to get there, which means At some point, one of these lows would have to hold in order for price to push up, right? So you see, it brings us back to the same conversation of, do we stay above and push higher, or do we break down, come back to this support level, which is, again, the bottom of a range, right? Top of the range, bottom of the range, to then get long again and give us a double bottom scenario here. So we'll watch that to see if the dollar gives that retracement, right? Then we could be in for this breakdown in a double bottom scenario here at 130, 133. All right. So those are the if then scenarios that we'll want to keep our eyes on. Okay. Questions on the dollar CAD? Cool.
Oh, sir.
Cool deal. Interesting. That's wild.
Chart disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart traders on a holiday too.
I'm not able to get any of these NZDs to pop up.
Really? There you go.
But none of the NZDs come up.
No.
Interesting. Well, I'll move on.
Yeah, my
I'll figure it out later.
yeah, it's showing up on mine. We have to figure out what's going on
Just
with
showing up
that.
on yours?
Well, my NZD CAD and my NJ. So I'm remarking up all my charts, but those are showing up.
Let's see. Let's re-add it. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna go through and delete everything.
Yep, because they made a lot of updates. They still don't have the charts right in regards to alphabetical order. They keep resetting.
Yeah, it might won't stay either.
Yeah, but I know every time they do like a major upgrade like they did, they always get bugs that they have to fix. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. So we'll do a fresh markup here, right? We'll do a fresh markup. So let's walk through it. So consistency is key. Benny talked about this last week, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Deliberate practice. Appreciate that, Reese. Reese said he emailed him and said they're working on it. Deliberate practice makes progress, right? Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes progress, right? Now, if you practice the wrong thing, you'll continue to stay in the cycle, right? But if you have deliberate practice on the things that will help you to move forward and make progress, then you'll see that progress, right? So you want to be consistent in that practice. So marking out your extreme highs and your extreme lows, right, gives you the view. It helps you understand that at the end of the day, it's just a large range. That's it, right? Top of the range, moving back to the bottom of the range. Okay, so it gives you that good visual. Okay, so we'll drop in our support and resistance levels, right? And Benny talked about this last week as well. There was a question about the relevant support and resistance levels, right? You want to look at the most recent levels, right? Where price is or has been, okay? And we don't have a swing low there, but we got support level here. right? Most recent support level, you can mark all of the levels out. They won't come into play for quite some time, especially on these higher time frames, but most recent and relevant levels, right? So from a monthly perspective, this is the most recent support level, right? Resistance, this is the most recent resistance level, okay? So from a monthly perspective, that's what we got. You can add in the other levels if you'd like, right? Or you can wait because it'll be a while to get there. All right. So we'll drop down to the weekly time frame and we'll do the same thing. Okay. Most recent levels. We've got a recent support here. On the weekly, we'll change this to blue. Okay. Okay. Got a weekly level here. Price came back, right? And as you're going through, look at these small details. Price came through, tested this level, wasn't able to close above, but it gave us a nice long wick here, and price is trying to press down. Now, the end of this week, if price stays below this high, that'll give us a new swing high, and this level won't be relevant anymore. But right now it is, right? Right now it is. So this is our recent level. If we get the candle that closes lower, then this will be our new weekly resistance when we reset our charts over the weekend. Okay. For now, we'll keep it right here. Okay. If you want to mark this second one, can. Bang. All right. So there's our support and resistance levels. Okay. Down to the daily time frame. Okay. That wick on the weekly served as a resistance level on the daily. All right. So we got a resistance level there, and then we got some support levels here. This is the most recent support level. We'll mark these other support levels because they could come into play relatively soon if price continues to break down. All right. Like so. Okay. So there, support resistance on the monthly, weekly, and daily. So now we can see. Now we can see, right? Price made this beautiful push to the upside, created new levels of resistance, retested a weekly level of resistance, and gave a pullback, right? So we want to see, what was the distance of this retracement? Did it take out a fib as it was moving to the upside? Because overall, you zoom back out, right? Price has been moving down. Price has been moving down, right? So we come to the high, we run our fibs to the downside, and we want to see what action we get here. And here we are. So in the daily time frame, we pulled back to a 50% retracement level in line with that weekly resistance, and we created a new daily resistance level, right? So we got a 50% retracement off the daily time frame. Okay. So now we want to see, does price continue to turn over, break levels, and continue to push to the downside? Okay. Or do we get price to push higher and come back into our sweet spot from a daily time frame perspective? Okay. So that's the daily look. And we drop down to the 4, right? We zoom back out. Take a look at things. Maybe. All right. And we see those fibs got taken out on the 4-hour time frame, right? It gets real choppy. Right. So understanding that, we can, right? It's just choppy all the way through. So we can just move forward to our last high. Which is here. All right. And we'll track the fibs off of this high as they move through. Whoops. Okay. Now on the 4-hour time frame, this is where we sit. Beautiful 8-6 retracement level, and we're starting to get this breakdown. All right. If you run your trend line to the upside, you see you got your trend line break. right. Trend line break, price is moving to the downside. Okay, so now we're in this downward move. We want to see, do we get some range action that happens here, right, before we break this daily support level. Okay, so that's your 4 hour. Now I'm going to take these off the 4, drop down to the 1. Okay, now here on your 1, because we got that deep retracement on the 4, right? Deep retracements on higher time frames take out the fibs on the lower time frames. Something to remember, right? So we'll run our fibs off the low because we got that deep retracement on the 4. And this is what we look like, right? Price wasn't able to break out and get to the matching D extension off the 382 retracement, right? And now we got a deeper retracement here, okay? So now we want to see, does this daily level hold, or does price not break out and just move back to the upside? Okay, so that's what we want to watch to see. That's what we want to watch to see. So that's where we sit on this NZD dollar, right? Is we're trying to press back to the upside, could press deeper. We'll see. The other way to look at this, right, is running the fibs off the high, right? Why would I do that? On the higher time frames, you know, you're in a deep retracement zone, right? Potentially, once liquidity comes back into the market, having dollar strength because of what the Fed intends to do, right? With this pair looking to be bearish overall, right? So you can run your fibs off the high in the direction of your bias, which is in favor of the dollar, right? So here we zoom in, we look at it, right? And we talked about it happens all the time. Shallow retracement, didn't get to that 382 level, pushed down into the 118, 127 zone. All right. Shallow retracement, 118, 127. Now you're starting to get this move back to the upside, right? And that plays into price pushing higher here. Okay. Right. You run your trend lines off the high. Whoops. Right. And you see that trend line break. Right. So now we're just looking at price, right? Coming back down, pulling back, potentially retesting the trend line, but we'll look for price to continue pressing higher here. Okay. So looking for more upside movement here, give us a deeper retracement, potentially even take out the A here on these moves, on these fibs to the downside, right? But that's what I'm looking for, is price to push up. Questions on the NZD dollar?
No.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. New members, does that top-down analysis make sense to you? Yeah. All right. Any questions on anything that we covered this morning? Ben, you got any short-term scenarios that you got your eyes on, man? Or anything else to for the team?
No, I always paying attention to those yen crosses. Like that EJ was a huge play back to the upside. It was an 80-20 on the one that made a nice run over the holidays. But I know anytime you have a fundamental occurrence on any of these crosses like we had, they always recover, right? They always turn back a certain percentage of what they either gained or sold off to the downside. So across the board, what happened with the Bank of Japan, what was it, a week ago? You can start to see prices starting to recover on the yen. So that's just a little nugget there. That's how, how fundamentals really come into play and create opportunities, is that you see just on that one currency is happening across the board with the yen crosses. So there's an opportunity there to catch, a lot of pips. Also too, before we close out for today too, like pay attention to the Telegram and the setups that are coming through. Because Ryan and I, for over the last year, we've been working with the software programmer trying to automate for us, so we can share with you guys the trade setups that fit what we really like to trade. And so we know we've had a lot of shorter term traders coming to the group. So we've been really working with a programmer to identify, right, those deep correction setups. So I don't know, if you all are we don't get a lot of feedback. So we post them in a chart like over the last 2 weeks, actually. You can see how a lot of those setups are like real deep 886 retracements setups coming through for the reversal. So they're really good risk to reward type of setups. They've got some shorter target points on them. So, if you're really busy, right? I know you're trying to learn this, but we're doing our best to kind of adapt to the group. We know we're big time, longer term swing traders, but we have been working with a really good programmer over the last year to kind of get a feel for what we do. We've expressed to them that, hey, those 15-minute type of setups are really feasible for a lot of people in the group. You could be in and out of those trades within the week. And as you see, a lot of those, they're hitting targets, right? So continue to pay attention to the Telegram, because you will see a lot of that coming through this year, because it helps us with our busy lives to have something to just identify for us potential setup areas and zones that we like to trade. So really, really keep your eyes on the Telegram for this upcoming year, as they're hitting, I'd say over the last, I forget the period of time, but you're looking at between like 68, 72% with the strike rate to that TP1. Depending on what your entry confirmation is, right? So whether you're waiting on a trend line break or you're taking it right at the level, so they're really good. They're really good setups. So especially if you're a newer trader, like I say, you have a busy life and you just need. We're not just posting numbers in the Telegram like stop loss here, enter here, this here. We're giving you the image and the setup. So because we still want you to actually learn how to trade and what to identify visually for a potential setup, but those all have come through. I think the one that missed recently, the only one I really missed was that Euro Aussie last week, but it flipped into a 80-20, right, Ryan? I think it flipped into an 80-20 in reverse. Once it took out the A, we always teach people to flip your fib if the A gets taken out, and it came right back to that original target that we had. So really, if you're looking for setups and trade ideas, the Telegram is where it's at. So I just wanted to put that out there. Another thing, Ryan, we'll talk about it afterwards, but we're planning on running 2 sessions, but we might just do. It might be best just with the liquidity and with some of the spreads. It might just do a New York session. We could rotate this week. So something to talk about. Once we close out the session. So just a couple of thoughts that I had, but pay attention when it comes through to the Telegram.
Absolutely, man. No, we'll definitely chat about that in a few minutes.
Yep.
But yeah, the setups are there, good people. They're there, and we're working on some other larger changes to our whole community and how we flow. And we'll update you guys closer to the new year on what some of those changes are. We think you'll like them. We think you'll appreciate where we're going and what we're bringing to the table. So Ben and I are working hard to continue to evolve our community and our group. So we greatly appreciate you guys. Appreciate you showing up this morning on your holiday break. You guys have a phenomenal Tuesday, and we'll catch you later. Peace.
Bye.